Good evening. Welcome to Hangout in the Crib. I'm the BP professor with an almost empty beer bottle.
No,
With
dear.
me, maybe I'll have to take a break. With me tonight is Tito
Hello, everybody.
and the Disturbed God and Hefe.
Howdy.
Hello, people.
And it's been an exciting week. So we've got some slides for you to talk about some of the game changes. And unless anyone else has anything else to say in this quasi A block of the show, we can get started.
Sounds great.
All right. I will share the slides. All right. Who does Kix listen to? Because it ain't us. But let's talk about bug fixes. Let's see. Errors with the battle log that prevented some players from loading it.
I think that was supposed to be, from what I heard, a Facebook-specific issue. As far as I can tell, they haven't fixed all the errors within the battle log, but, it seemed for some period of time that people weren't able to actually even see it.
No, you could see it, but only if you were on the Kickside side. It was a Facebook issue. That if you were playing through the Facebook client, you couldn't do it.
Okay. Fixed an error that could occur under special circumstances involving a megaship build and exceeding the capacity of a limited component. Players caught in the state were unable to load the game. That would have really sucked. I know I did throw some cables on a module, so I guess that would be one case where this could happen. Once again, be able to craft foundry hulls that have a research component as a prereq. Not sure what happened there, but
I saw a lot of.
I think the Citadel. I think it was the Citadel was asking you to have the Citadel in order to redeem the Citadel. So it was like a loop.
I was seeing people complain with the CUDA and other things that there was something screwed up with, seems like, it wasn't seeing some of the components as being completed. It didn't happen to me though.
Complete and send you back to click the button, and it was a loop. You couldn't get it.
Yeah, it sort of sounded like the whole issue that people were having with the R&D.
But I think also fixed that one for the tier 5 and the garrison ones, that in order to get the Citadel, one of the requirements was that you have the Citadel. So imagine.
All right. And then 2 more bugs related to the Mega. A crash if you have titanium, and then speeding refit in the base could incorrectly speed refit on the Mega. So that sounds interesting, but never saw either of those. So let's move on from bug fixes. So the new feature, Blitz. Did you ever see the How I Met Your Mother episode with the Blitz? Anyway,
I missed that one.
it's pretty funny. Okay, so Blitz is basically a way that you can coin and speed up actually doing a target, not just coin and map repair your fleet. So if you go into an undamaged target and you're doing it solo, and you defeat that target in a single attack, you'll get a pop-up window that lets you essentially coin your repair and do that again instantly and get the points. So that sounds okay if you want to run repairs, but a couple caveats. So it redoes your damage, pays out the same points, closes after 5 minutes if you don't select anything, and you can repeat it as much as you want as long as you have the gold.
Does anybody know if you can do it once and do it for both cycles?
I didn't try it, after the reset to do it again. I would think no, because you may have to close the window that pops up on top of you to go and reset the Forsaken mission. But I'm not sure. I didn't try.
Yeah, you'd have to hit reset. Chris, I know you did it and you had to close.
You normally cannot have two windows pop up at the same time, so that's my guessing, but I don't know. I didn't try.
Okay. So that's what it does. There's a couple twists there. There's a 3-coin minimum, so that's something. If you hit like a 102 and you only took, like in this case, 33 minutes of repair, that'd be 2 coins, and instead you have to pay 3 to get those Blitz points. So that's not too hard. There is one bonus. We don't have a picture of it in the slides, but if you click on a 102 or a 109 where you can do this Blitz, it'll show you either Blitz and co-op or just co-op. And so if it doesn't say Blitz, that means that target actually is already damaged. So
also, in the map, on the war map, when you go to that target, on the bottom of it, you will see there are 2 icons. One is green and one is red. The green one is the one that means that the target is still 100%, nobody has touched it yet. And the red one means that somebody has been in before and did some damage.
Okay.
Which is good and bad. It lets the people that are just going out there to gut them, let them know where a fresh one is. But it also lets the people that are looking for a complete one to find one as well.
Well, the tools are not good or bad. That is the use you do of them that is what make them good or bad. So
yeah,
you cannot blame them for this. It's actually, I think it's a good idea. I'm bored of logging in any of those 109 to see if they are closed or not. If my intention is not going for base parts, just do the points. It's good also if I want to go for base parts because I know that I can do faster.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I also saw in this Blitz is that you do not get awarded more fragments on these Blitz, the ones you redo with Blitz. So you only get the one set of fragments. So it might be another thing to think about. So what do you guys think of Blitz? Yay, nay?
I think it's a good introduction into the game for those corners that were blaming the many chores they have. Now they have one way to skip it, and if some week you are a bit busy and you only can hit one target and you have the coins, you just click Blitz and you're done for that week. We all have weeks in which our real life keeps us busy and we cannot spend much time on this. And coining once every time and then it's not going to kill anybody. So I don't think it's not a bad idea. Nobody forces you to do it. It's something that is totally on your will to do it or not. So I agree with it.
So in a sense, it's a way to get more value out of coining in the Forsaken mission if you are up for coining in the Forsaken mission, right? Because it doesn't just save you repair time; it saves you play time.
Yeah, if you are coining more normally, and so you don't mind, it helps you because you don't have to do the work more than once. So.
Yep. Okay. Anything else you want to say about Blitz?
No, I agree. I think it's probably a good thing, but it's sort of, I guess it happens in a lot of games that you pay not to play, but oh well.
Okay, yeah. All right, I'll just leave you with Blitz.
So that means, for example, Jefe, that you do every single salvo, you don't do them on auto either?
The salvo?
Yeah.
Salvage.
Salvage. Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't pay to do them. I don't
Yeah,
give
you
them.
don't
I don't
pay
give
back.
them money. I don't give them money, so I don't have to hit the salvos. Salvages.
Unless you screw and you send the wrong fleet inside, right?
Okay.
Still not going to
I
pay
don't.
for it.
No, that's cool. I don't.
All right. Phantom Warfare 2 started, yesterday? And it's still pretty painful. You will get spanked in Phantom Warfare 2. I haven't heard of anybody who has...
I think that this picture doesn't suit the reality. I don't see any blood or anything like that.
You want more blood? Not just a threat of whipping. You want actual blood, TJ?
Well, blood or coins dropping from the body, some wands and coins dropping from it. I don't know.
Yeah, he
Like
needs to have a
something.
handful of. He needs to have a handful of coins.
I mean, this dude is not just ball gagged. He looks like scared, doesn't he? Like scared. What's she gonna do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem. What you're gonna do when actually we know what's going to happen if you get in
Yeah,
bad. That's what I mean. But well, I guess maybe
he's
we are
just not
in
sure.
kids' time. We are in kids' time still, so that's maybe the reason.
Yeah, he's not sure what's going to happen during the raid.
Yeah.
That
right.
makes sense.
He's scared for the raid. Yeah. All right. So if you did go all the way through Phantom Warfare, Phantom Warfare,
Yeah.
you get to skip the first 5 prize packs.
Well, if you finish it, because I know that people that ended in prize pack 4 in the last one, so they got to start from the prize pack 5 and then do the other ones if they wanted.
Yeah. You get to skip the ones you did in Phantom Warfare 1. So yeah.
Should we talk about the content that's actually inside the targets at this point, or?
Yes, we should.
Okay.
Any of you didn't do it last time, so we could know if the first 5 maps are still the old ones or they redid all with the new ones with thermal.
All the new ones have at least 4 and 5, from what I've been able to hear from reading, is that at least 4 and 5 have thermal in them.
Okay.
So it's not the old. They aren't the old targets. I haven't heard anything about people doing 1, 2, and 3 though.
If all have thermal, I think it's quite unfair, especially for. Well, the first unfair thing for me is the level 60 cap that they put there, because we know that it's not wise to level up that fast, and they punish you on the raids, taking points from you, in a way that I think is not very fair. But well, they seem to like to do that. A level 40 that has a CUDA, I don't see why he couldn't get a Phantom CUDA, for example, to increase the number of subs in his fleet and probably do a bit more damage.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk content. So if you have been under a rock, content is pretty much similar to Hyrix Blunder. You've got scouts with 92 thermal. You've got some Hercules.
I think they were called Hulks and Hunters, I think is the name of the black one with the missiles, but I don't recall because that was 2 years ago.
Hulk is the one with the drones.
Yeah,
right.
The other one I think is
and
called...
that one has 150 thermal.
Yeah, the other one doesn't have any thermal, but gets the benefit of the thermal of the other ones if you don't drive careful.
Right. So you have these ships that mostly outrange your thermal, and you've got some really destructive torpedoes, and you've got a lot of drones. So
yeah, I think that the unfair part is the drones having such powerful torpedo and the reload they have. Because if the reload was lower and the damage was a bit mitigated, it will be more doable. They actually have done something, because I hit Plunder Pirates. That was last week or 2 weeks ago. And the first map, I got 3/4 of damage on my fleet. And this time, in the first map, I got likely 25%. I didn't reach the 25%. So they have lowered the damage on some of the maps, but they still have thermal, and I am not happy with that, because if you are making sub rate and sub targets, thermal for me it's something that should not be there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like they learned the wrong lesson from the last raid. You know, some players weren't ready for it, etc. But they just seem to have made these raids harder for everyone. You know, I think we talked last week about maybe they've done this to try and neutralize ghost crawlers, which, you know, back when the ghost crawler was released, Kicksign should have known what they were putting themselves into. But here we are.
But do you think they learned any lesson? Because last week there was that plunder one, and I think that the number of people that participated in it was so low. Many people did, like you, me, and everybody here in the panel, I think, that hit the first targets, saw the damage he was saying, and said no. But seems that the only message that I got was, I think that the prices we put there were not interesting at all, so let's go put what they wanted, the Phantom Hellwraith, and let's see if this time it's they liking. And they put it there, and that's the reason that many maybe have done it.
Well, they also got additional input, because on Friday they had the raid prize preview, what was supposed to be an open preview, but they canceled it after the closed preview because nobody liked the targets. And yet we see these same targets maybe tweaked a little bit as far as damage. But I think, at least personally, I have a problem with the thermal that outranges it. It just sucks any sort of fun out of doing it, and a lot of the strategy that, you know, you got a sub, we got thermal that's going to see you before you can even fire, and it's just a different kind of unavoidable damage that was in the last raid. But they've intensified it, they've increased it, but it's just, I don't know. I don't see the point in putting thermal on these things, at least constant thermal. Maybe if they had, like they had with the blinking thermal, yeah, that would make some sense, and it would disrupt the ghost crawlers. The ghost crawlers couldn't just sit there and just ignore the bubbles, because everybody would see them. So, you know, we talked both Wednesday and Friday about potential solutions to limiting the role of the ghost crawler in the raid and in targets like this that didn't involve something as, you know, I think I called it arbitrary and lazy last week, but I still find it arbitrary and lazy that they don't really seem like they learned their lesson from the previous week or the preview. It just seems like, okay, we'll keep on giving it to them until, you know, we'll keep on whipping them until they like it.
Yeah. Like people do with the music, no? That it's a bad song, but they keep putting in over and over and over till at the end. You don't know if you have got used or what, but you even think it at times. And no, I don't think that people is going to like it. And if the number of people that did the last raid was low, this time I think unless they change these targets a lot, it's going to be even lower. But up to them.
I think it's going to be significantly lower if they go this way, because it hasn't improved anywhere as far as fun, cost per point, or time per point, and right. I just don't. I mean, my only thought is that somebody's paying to do this stuff, and they get evaluated as a unit, maybe on a monthly or a 90-day. 90 day as far as how many coins, how much money they make, as opposed to they ought to be thinking about, okay, over a 6-month period or a year period or whatnot, and try and set out a strategy that isn't like, okay, we're going to squeeze as many coins out of them as possible at this point, but we want to encourage players to join the game, get their friends to join the game, and continue to play, expand the player base as opposed to contract it, and get more coins out of the few people that remain. And
Right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I talked about metrics in an article I wrote last week, and what you were saying there, Hefe, is kind of along those lines. Is that, if your metrics measure, how many coins you're getting in an event or how many coins you're getting in a week, well, then that's what you're going to design for is these short term. How many coins can I get out of this event? If your metrics instead measure, are my players having fun? Are they playing? Are they staying? Then only then, when they try and measure, player satisfaction instead of revenue, are they going to get player satisfaction? So yeah. We did come up with a couple tips on Phantom Warfare if you are wanting to play it. Clearly there's a couple ships in there without thermal, so if you can engage and pick those off before anything else sees you or while nothing else sees you, that's an obvious advantage. Tito, you also had some other thoughts?
Yeah, if you're willing to, well, the best way I saw to do it is trying to drag the scouts out of the rest so the drones don't hit you. So what I found was very helpful for me was trying to get into one of the subcavitators that was just close to the scout I wanted to drag to me. So that one was waking up and following me. And if you were unlucky, maybe 1 or 2 torps from those drones were shooting at you, but not the whole amount of that at least is 20 shooting torps at you. Because if those 20 torps shoot you, and they are not going to fail, and it's likely half your armor that goes away. So that was for me the best way to mitigate the damage.
Yep, and I think that is really key. Is under any try as best you can not to have all those drones shoot at you at once.
Yeah, and if somebody finds a way to do the map 4 without getting that amount of damage when you try to kill the 2 hawks and you're getting 40 drones shooting at you, hey, I'm all ears, because that was crazy.
Yeah, I did campaign number 6 just a little while ago, and I started number 4 with a fresh fleet, and I died with 1 scout left. I mean, it killed an entire Skulled Hellwraith fleet that was, in my opinion, decently built. So it's pretty brutal. So there you go. Anything else you want to say about Phantom Warfare?
No, I think it's covered unless somebody else has something to say.
The only problem I think from changing is I think the viewers like watching the slides, so I think that's the only problem. But I think we can move on.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Well, they can take any screenshots and we move on.
Okay. All right. We'll do that.
Screenshot. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's see. We do have some screenshots of the prizes. 1, 2, and 3. We've seen these before. 5, 6, and 7.
Wait, did I miss?
You missed 4. That's okay. It's a Phantom Tiger and some other stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
And the Shannon, yeah.
Yeah, Sharon. That's Phantom Tiger and Sharon in number 4.
And something to say is price pack says I think that they could have skipped that or bring something better, because one hydraulic resistor, it was not worth the damage you're getting.
Yeah. And I hear this Hellwraith build token does not apply to the Phantom Hellwraith.
No, when you use this type of tokens, it only applies to the hull that has the same name. So if it's Phantom Hellwraith, it's not Hellwraith. You cannot apply the same way that if you have Citadel tokens, you cannot use to speed up your Hardrock Citadel.
Yeah.
And the other thing that they recommend when you launch that, when you launch the that campaign, is that you have a full fleet of Hellwraiths in order to take that on.
So what are you doing with that 2-day Hellwraith token?
I'm not certain, but yeah. I just found that curious.
Yep. Okay. Moving on. Geek Corner.
Oops, I think we got them out of order. I think I must have. I thought I had the slide, but basically, you know, I had the picture, but I didn't have any ideas for Geek Corner this week. So if anybody has them, you know, throw them on the site, or if you know who I am or whatnot, just like a general idea. Not really like builds, but, you know, sort of higher level than a build. You know, if you've seen the show before, you see the kind of stuff that we do in this section. I just didn't see anything that was really introduced to the game recently that people might have a, you know, might have any questions about, or, you know, have me or Larry or whoever, like, try and run some numbers and figure some things out and explain it.
Yep.
So I'm also thinking about something called Noob's Corner, but, you know, that hasn't come yet for
Noobs.
The thing that keeps on, the questions that I keep on getting from people that I'm like, oh my God, you still don't understand this. You know, like how the Conqueror Hull deflection works different from your assault deflection, and they still want to win the Fury and do, you know, all these other things with it. You know, things like that might go in there. But yeah, I think I got these slides out of order because I think the next slide should be the Phantom Hellwraith, if I'm correct.
I don't know. Let's find out.
Or maybe it's not.
I say that Lady Vader here has nice news.
Okay. No, I guess I didn't. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I deleted it. Maybe I got mad and the Phantom.
Hellwraith.
Do you see that? Let me double check in the slides.
I checked it on mine and it's not there.
It's not there. It has a 12-day, 21-hour build. It's basically got all the same stats as the normal Hellwraith, except for you can use it as your flagship, and it's invisible under the on the world map. Except for when you attack.
We have to say,
yes.
We have to say that it's a miracle that that ship is still on the map, because such a huge hull, it's something that it's a lot of tech that they use it there.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen those. Does that happen every time when somebody attacks with that thing and it's about the size of your screen?
Well, I have not seen any on the sector I am, but they said only you see it. The rest of the people don't see it.
Okay. All right.
All right. So this week's Kick Size Screw Up is...
This little snippet here is from the last Works in Progress. No. This is from the State of the Game, right? Which came out about a month ago.
State of the Game.
Yeah, this is State of the Game, where they're talking about how they're going to telegraph and communicate change on the Doom Rooster's posts, and how he wants to foster a relationship of open communication with the community, and that includes the monthly Works in Progress posts.
Right.
And you want to click, Larry?
Doodle do. No more whips.
Yes. After careful consideration. What?
Could this be that for maybe this roster you are showing here, it was a chore to do this, and maybe they are going to mitigate our chores as well because we can't stand doing chores?
The Rooster didn't like chores.
I don't know. No, I think it's, I'm not sure how it came across in everybody's computer. There was the good rooster and the bad rooster are each telling us two different things. But
I saw a two-headed rooster.
Yeah, well, one's got evil eyes. Maybe we need to next time. I'm sure it'll happen again.
I missed the rooster. Oh, see, red eyes and black eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Evil Eye Rooster. Okay.
Okay. And they've gotten rid of the.
So
Go ahead.
so the whip is gone, and it's certainly at odds to. We want to communicate better. We want to keep doing this. I mean, I just don't see any good way to spin this. And I will take complete silence as no one else sees any good way to spin.
Well, I keep on muting myself. Yeah, I don't see a good way to. I don't, either they got their feelings hurt, or I don't know. I'm not sure exactly why they got rid of it. I mean, getting their feelings hurt, not be able to do what they say. I mean, I think they should still include the whip, but don't include things. Don't put dates to things that they don't think they're going to get accomplished. Don't put dates next to them, and that's the only.
Or just put on a schedule of the normal events that are going to happen. That we know it doesn't matter if it's a typhoon on top of San Francisco. It's going to happen anyway. That is, they doing the raid, or they have said it's going to be that next weekend is the VXP. That's something that's going to happen. And maybe if you are not sure if you are going to do a TLC, or just put we are going to do a TLC, but we are not sure if prices are going to be there, because we will see if we can add them all or not. But at least have some sort of calendar so we can plan ahead of what we have to do, because if not, it's very complicated to do things ahead of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, he does get busy, he makes about one post a day. So I guess that's one that he can get rid of. But yeah, it's I don't understand that they think they're improving their relationship with the players by removing this. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, because the fact that some people has always been complaining about something in work in progress is not something from last month. It's something that has happened because they couldn't follow the plan they were establishing for themselves. So, and it has been there. I don't know how many years we have the work in progress. 2 or 3 maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he blames Robot, and so maybe he's blaming Robot for the current raid cycle as well, and getting rid of his whip. I don't know.
Maybe he's blaming Robot for the raid cycle. Maybe.
Yeah. Punishing him for these targets.
Yeah, well, then he should just use the whip in another direction, because he hit us. So the problem.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because he says. Contributing to creating an environment of speculation, disappointment, or anger. But then your anticipation made them fun to work on. So, speculation isn't so bad.
It sounds like my match profile. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And disappointment sounds like what happens after your first match date. But also... sounds like what happens when Kickside doesn't deliver, and you know what? They should own that themselves. Not beat us up over it. And then anger. Well, yeah, some players got angry, but I sort of feel like a lot more players enjoyed the posts, understood, or at least were reasonably disappointed when something didn't follow through, but weren't like freaking out. I mean, in the scale of things players are angry about, I think incorrect info in the whip is pretty low on the totem pole.
Yeah, are they gonna stop doing the raid briefings? Like after the Apollo, they should have just given up on those after they changed the stats on them 3 or 4 times. After that came out.
Don't give them ideas. Don't give them ideas.
I have a positive spin on this. Maybe they're going to stop doing everything that players are angry about.
Yes. Or they just don't want to talk about
it.
I think you're too optimistic.
They're just going to stop doing... Oh, players are angry about these coin collecting mortars. Stop them. Players are angry about 40 drones shooting at you at once. Stop them. Maybe?
Yep, you were angry about this, so we give you something to really get angry about.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's the
I don't know.
Okay.
Stop crying, or I'll give you a reason to cry.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Besides, you are blaming Robot. And don't blame on him. We all know he's not made with pieces made in America, so you don't blame that guy.
So robots made in Taiwan.
Probably.
Okay. Let's go to the
Breakthrough.
call it the good thing. Breakthrough. Oh wait. Whoa. Wait, let's stop for a second.
Okay.
How is this a screw up? Can we discuss?
Well, she probably thinks it is.
Oh, okay.
I think that she got one strap on loose, and that's the screw up.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all right.
I'm wondering how this water
it
fountain's coming out of her chin.
Oh, it depends on. Maybe for you it's not a screw up. Maybe for her it was. You know.
But I don't.
It depends on the side. It depends on the side.
Maybe she's drooling over your match profile.
Yeah, that could be. You know, it's quite. You know, that might be a turnoff though. That's a significant amount of drool that even a large sized bulldog couldn't even muster.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
All right, let's talk breakthrough.
Okay, here is something. It was said here in the chat by one of our viewers, and Raikkonen actually has posted something about the October targets. It says, we are not using the Phantom Warfare or Pirates Plunder TLC targets for October raid. Current options we are exploring are brand new targets, so maybe it's something completely new, or modifier versions of September targets. So maybe they are returning to some of the targets. And according to this same paragraph, it says that they are working with a small group of players. So let's hope that we get something good out of this. I don't know if it's going to be the Town Hall or a selected group that is doing some sort of private previews that they are working with. I don't know.
Yeah, our friend, our friendly sub driver. Never mind. I'll leave that up for this part of the chat.
Sub driver who thinks he has really nice hair.
Yeah. I didn't say that.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
this is something that I think they skipped to put on the release notes for this week, and actually, for me, it's one of the best breakthroughs they have done in a long while.
Yeah, and it's a really low bar then if this is one of the best. But it's been obvious. Players have been asking.
It's one of the best, but it's not what they promised. Because what people asked and they said they were going to try to do is that you could do the whole Forsaken mission without having to stop to redeem to use tokens to keep doing it, and it doesn't. And with this, they are not accomplishing it, because in case that you get the token on the tier 4 and you get the 2+2 on tier 5, you are going to get screwed again. But at least this helps on the tier 5 when you were getting the 2 days plus 2 more days, because you didn't have room for the second token and you were losing one of the 2 days.
Well, hold on a second. You can do tier 4 and 5. You never get a 2 day. You never get a second 2 day on tier 5. You get a 2 plus a 1.
Yes, you can get 2 days plus 1, 2 days plus 2, and 2 days plus 3. This came because we complained that if you were getting the 2 days plus 2, you only were getting just 2 days, because the second token that you were getting was getting lost because you didn't have room for it. It's like if you were doing the tier 4 and without using that token, you were doing tier 5, and you were losing that token.
I never heard of anybody getting. Obviously you couldn't, but I've never heard of 2 days on tier 5. That would have.
You didn't hear about anybody getting it, because the way it was scripted, when you were going to get it, you were just getting one token. You couldn't get the second. So people was getting or 2 tokens plus 1 day, or 2 tokens plus 3 days, because the 2 tokens plus 2 days. Sorry, the 2 days token plus another 2 days token didn't fit in your stock, so you were losing it.
So you would show up with the people that were receiving this, because I never heard of this before either. So the people that were getting the 2+2 on tier 5 were only receiving one of them?
Yes. And that's the reason they did this.
I think the reason they did it was because people were doing tier 4 and tier 5 within a matter of minutes of each other, and they couldn't spend them both.
Right. Well, you'd have to spend the first one to be able to get the second.
Yeah, and especially with this little Blitz thing, the Blitz thing made this necessary because if you hit the one target and then they spend gold to get all the way to tier 5, how are they going to spend that 2-day token in the meantime? The first one.
Yep. Well,
and
anyway,
she sort of looks piratey, doesn't she?
Sort of.
Sort of piratey, you know.
Sort of a steampunk pirate.
Okay.
No, for the best one he's using, I think it's a pirate, but maybe from those Assassin's Creed guys.
Yeah.
Manga pirate. Space pirate Harlock.
I don't know if she's space pirate. She looks like she'd be hanging out with.
She's going to use a lot of space. I agree with you.
All right.
All right.
So,
well, that's it for the slides for the evening.
Okay. I will take you off present then.
Yeah. Here, take me off screen share somehow. All right. Anything else we want to talk with tonight, or we can end it a little quick and start an after show a little early?
Yeah, or do you want to just have me put the link out and make it last for another 15 minutes and then send it out again? However you want to do it. I can end it now. I can end it now and send out the link, or leave it open for another 15 minutes and see if people want to come on the show while we're live. Your call.
I don't know. You never know what you're going to get when you let the general public in. I think we got it on the stream.
Why don't we give it a shot?
Okay.
Yeah. We'll let in the commoners.
To our live stream.
Yes.
Do we have any rules?
Well, we do this on Friday all the time.
Okay.
You know, mostly works out well.
Okay.
I've just posted the Google Hangout link for everybody if they'd like to join the show. We're going to stay live for another 15 minutes until 8 o'clock Eastern, and then we'll go back to just a pure after show, and I'll post it again at that point.
Yeah.
Answering Clive, no, we are still playing the game. Maybe we are not spending the same amount of hours we were spending on the past, but we are still playing it.
All right. We got Autumn, who's been on. He was on last week's after show.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to add any additional questions via chat, feel free. Did we? I see, Tito, that you've been on there. Have you got any good questions that we should talk about at this point?
About what?
You know, show, battle power, whatever. You know, it could be anything. Cooking
Maybe,
tips.
I don't know. I'm still distracted with that pirate or with a lot of space, you know?
Maybe Hefe's match profile.
Yeah, we could talk about that. Throw it up there. Figure out if anybody offers
I don't
any
know.
sort of
I think we are
improvement.
still on the kid tower. We cannot make much mention.
You know, we got all sorts of possibilities. Leonard Skinner wants Larry to talk about the town hall.
Talk about the town hall. Let's see. Last town hall, unfortunately, I do have to be respectful of the NDAs. So we did talk about a new thing, and I can't talk about it.
Okay, no
We can
worries.
talk about mega halls. Nobody will care. So you
Well,
can talk
you
about
know,
mega halls.
I mean,
It won't break
Right.
the NDA. I'm
He's-
just kidding.
If he's under NDA, we have to respect that. At least we have someone that is there and can give a good idea if they are walking on the right way or not.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
You could sort of talk about the structure of the interaction, I guess, right?
yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he really wants because we all know that they're not supposed to talk.
Right. So I can talk about that a little bit. You know, in the first town hall, it was apparently a really big group. That there was a lot of people from Kixeye in the room. More recently, it's been a smaller group. It's really been just I'm not going to name. Well, I'll say Paul Priest has dropped in occasionally in the town hall, and beyond that, we've had sort of a product manager and a game designer generally in the town halls. So I mean, and they have been good levels of conversation, and they've been two-way conversations a lot of the time.
Do you feel like they're listening to? Do you feel that they're respectful?
They are respectful. You know, they tend to want to talk about longer-term features. You know, they talked about mega halls, for example, a fair amount of time before they were released or announced, and they did, talk and listen, and they did take feedback, and I feel like maybe a little bit of that feedback made it in. The auto repairing dock came directly from a town hall, and so it's good that they can bat these features around in I'll say a safe space. What we haven't maybe been talking about is some of the shorter term dissatisfaction, and so I don't know why. I mean, in particular, again, I think Kixeye just has been using this as a tool to get feedback on these big long-term plans, and not as a short-term feedback vehicle.
Because they're probably getting their short-term feedback from the analytics and forums or whatnot.
People screaming really loud on the forums, I guess. Yeah.
Well, probably the analytics too. You think they don't what? Maybe you don't think they pay attention to those?
I think we discussed it before the show, related to the metrics article that I wrote. Or did we discuss that on air?
I think, as I said, you should make it in a dummy level so they could follow it, because I think that maybe they didn't understand it well when they did start just for this plunder campaign and this Phantom Warfare.
So I wrote this article about analytics and metrics, and how can you do a metric to measure fun. But what I led off the article with, I think, was really important, and maybe some people missed it. So I'll say it again. And this is not just true of Battle Pirates or gaming or software. If you're creating a metric, metrics are really powerful if you are measuring what you really want. Okay, if you measure like lines of code written, but not lines of code released, you get a bunch of people churning out a bunch of crap that fails test, for example. And in this case, I feel like Kixeye's metrics are measuring revenue, and so they're looking at ways to enhance short-term coining. Right, Blitz is probably going to look pretty good in those kind of metrics. Maybe these harder targets look good in those kind of revenue metrics because people have to spend a lot to get past them.
But only for those that really wanted the whole, because those that just decided to quit and not do it, it has to be there, because I don't know. It's at least here we say that this is for today, but starting tomorrow because nobody is going to do it, or people is going to do less.
Yeah.
So they should analyze that.
But my point is they're measuring revenue, and they're not measuring fun. They're not measuring player satisfaction. They're not doing a very good job of it. That pop-up survey, would you recommend Battle Pirates to a friend? That one's not. I don't think that one's telling them anything useful.
Yeah, because if they're able to take one raid and squeeze out 3 times the revenue out of the community in one raid, but that's only because they're getting a group of players to spend 10 times as much as they did before.
Right.
While the rest of them just throw up their hands and saying, "I'm quitting this crap." They've made more money, but that's only in the short term because they've decreased the player base by doing that.
Right.
Yeah, and if you decrease the player base and people is not investing in bases anymore and stuff like that, and it happened in the past when people were just giving up with the base defense and they lost money, and due to that they got to make the defense hulls have cheaper repair modifiers like the 50% at first, and then that's a slot that makes it even more cheaper and alike. And that just to try to make people to invest in that base defense again, because people was not doing it. And it's likely, why I'm going to spend coins and money in a new hull if I don't need it? Because people, if they have not changed the base and I couldn't beat it last week, I can beat it now.
Yeah.
You have somebody asking for them to ask to reduce the Zoe Apollo's build time. To increase the Mega Hall players. I mean, it makes sense. I mean,
I see.
Don't listen, doesn't listen. They don't listen. But go ahead. You probably have. I haven't built mine because I think it's the 18 days or whatever it is for the hall. I mean, I've built the Harlock Citadel and like that, but it's just
Harlock Citadel has a use. It's good on base defense. It's good to do in your Forsaken mission, and it has improved. That guy, Thesser, that if you put a good tank, you can do more than what you expect with it, because you can do the mines, you can do the drag bases, you can do the drag uranium bases. So it's an invest of it's a future invest, because you are going to use it in many different chores and alike. So it's helping you a lot.
And it's
not something
cool
that say
Yeah.
You forgot to bring that up.
But the question was about reducing the Zoe Apollo to get more people going after the Mega, and maybe that would help. But I still only have one regular Apollo, and I back it up with some Rhinos, Savage Kodiak, and I was able to get there. It takes a little more time than a full Apollo fleet, but.
Are you ever able to auto them that way, or do you control them?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are autoing them. They'll use a bunch of Apollos with the Zoe Apollo, and they'll just throw it at the 91s, because the number of times that a Mega Hall owner is asked to hit that 91 is to not do it on auto.
Just to get it, you have to hit a minimum of 60 times. Well, a max of 60 times. So you only get two gantry parts each time you go there.
It's around an average of 3, so it's about 40. 40 for the gantry, 40 for the Hyperion.
Yeah, more or less, but not always you get the 4. So, but well, okay, from 40 to 60 times you have to do it, and you have to do it twice so you can get the mail hole. And then when you have that, for what I had, that mail hole is likely a titanium hanger that is suffering, because you are having to go to do 91s over and over, or do what likely Son said, that you are waiting for somebody to do it, and then go with your gang of the Alliance friends and go there, destroy it, take all that he was working on, and taking it for you, and after you hit 3 or 4, just likely on the past when the resources were not good, that after you were hitting a base and you were getting the resources back into your base, you were spending it on research or whatever, so nobody could steal it from you. Yeah. That's what is happening.
Yeah, it's
But it would be fun if they added a different type of target in there. I mean, hitting how many, I mean, to get these fully developed mega halls that people have, they're level 256. How many times have they hit that 91? A zillion and a half or 2.5 zillion?
I don't know. It's a
Yeah. I'm just saying it's boring. It doesn't really add to the gameplay. It's just sort of the only really efficient way would be to do it on auto. And it's.
But didn't you say that you were against doing it on auto? And you were, because that's one of the reasons for you not liking the Blitz?
No. What I said before is that, I agreed with the whole Blitz idea, but I found it interesting that you were giving them gold. You were paying not to play the game, is what I said.
Yeah, but you can understand.
Keep on bringing it up.
That's
what I actually said. That you're paying.
You like it and you don't like it. So.
No. I'm the paying, not the paying. The paying part is what you're missing, because you can auto something and not pay attention to it, and then just repair. You don't have to pay for your repair. You can be doing something else. No, paying not to play is the interesting part that I found in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is it close? 7:57.
Yeah,
I guess I'm gonna shut down the live broadcast, and I'm going to post the hangout if anybody wants to show up, and we will. I guess everybody can say goodnight.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. I will not be able to attend the past after the show because I have to leave.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Good night, Tito. Good night, everybody else.